लख होए लख होए लख बीस लख होए लख बीस जीव लख होए लख होए लख बीस लख होए लख बीस लख लख गेड़ा आखिए लख लख गेड़ा आखिए एक नाम जगदीश एक नाम जगदीश एक दूजी लख होए लख होए लख बीस लख होए लख बीस ये तराहे पत पवड़िया पत पवड़िया चढ़िए होए तेज एक राहे पत पवड़िया चढ़िए होए अकीस सुन गल्ला आकाश की सुन गल्ला आकाश की कीटायाए रेस कीटायाए नानक नदरी पाइए नानक नदरी पाइए कूड़े कूड़े जी लख होए लख होए लख बीस लख होए लख बीस आखन जोर चुपे ना जोर आखन जोर चुपे ना जोर जोर न मंगन तेन न जोर जीवन न जीवन मरण न जोर जोर राजमार मन सोर जोर न सुरती ज्ञान विचार जोर न जुगते छुटे संसार जिस हथ जोर कर देख सोए नानक तम निज न कोय एक दूजी लख होए लख होए लख बीस लख होए लख बीस जीव लख होए in our last sitting, we had finished a subject which was basically addressing the Yoga Mat, Siddha Yoga, those who were very prevalent in those days. Yoga Mat had a very strong foothold in the spiritual world at that time. So the process that they indicated That process was discussed here in 4 stanzas. We started with Munda Santok Sarambhat Choli Dhyan ki kare befut Khintha Kal Kuari Kaya Jugat Danda Partit Ai Panthi Sab Jamati Man Jeete Jag Jeet Adesh Tise Adesh Ad Anil Anad Anahat Jug Jug Ek Koves. So that was the first. What should the dress? What you should be wearing? Because Yoga Shastra, whatever Gorakhnath, who was the pioneer in this stage, whatever he had indicated, they totally forgot, and it all became rituals. And they all had the purpose. They all had the reason for when he basically indicated that you should have a heavy ring in your earlobe. He was pointing out something. It was a mystical message, not a decoration, not an ornament. So Guru Nanak looks at all of those. They had the highest level of the group, highest achieved. Their name was I Panthi. It was recognized as the highest achievement people. So, and Guru Nanak indicated that you have segregated the humanity to one who has achieved and the one who has not achieved. In that division itself, you have sown the seed of your ego. I am better and you are not. I Panthi. And the result should have been Sagal Jamati. Your meditation technique should have helped you to evolve to see the God in all. Because as they say, if you don't see the God in all, you cannot see God at all. So we went through this process, 4 stanzas. Last time we wrapped up. And now, from this, we are going to take a new turn now. After here, if we take a look at the summary from the beginning, the ultimate creator's characteristics, various established methods to achieve to the highest state, eventually the methods losing their strength, and then Guru Nanak starts giving his own theory behind it, and then we discussed the whole nature as to the creation, and Guru Nanak indicated to us that this fascination, this insistence on knowing the creation is a futile exercise. Try to experience the creator through the creation rather than focusing on the creation, because creation is a short-lived phenomena. जैसे जलते बुद्धबता उपजय बिन से मीत जग रसना तैसे रति सुनान कहनानक सुन मीत. He gives an example. So when you go to the ocean, look at the water, you'll find some bubbles, or there will be wave on the ocean. Now we all know that both bubble and the wave have an identity, because we point out that's a big bubble, this is a small bubble. This is a high wave, this is a short wave. And the children got excited and they want to run into the waves. So that means the wave has an existence. It appears to us. And look at the illusion of this. We call it a wave, we call it a bubble, but if the same child who is enjoying the wave so much was to ask you, thank you, Dad, let's take this wave, put it in the bottle and take home. What will you do? I mean, he likes the wave so much, he wants to take home. So you can see the paradox here. Something that we see, something that we say it exists, actually is not existing at all. It has created an illusion that it exists, just as a dream exists. But when we wake up, where is the dream? So, Gurbani says, when you look at the creation, it is nothing more than that wave, that bubble. It is born and then it falls apart. Don't focus on the bubble, focus on the ocean. And the interesting thing is that in our conversation, when we are on the beach and watching the waves going back and forth, ocean is never discussed. Its waves are discussed, and shells are discussed, and fish is discussed, and all kind of animals are discussed, but nobody talks about the ocean. Even though none of that can exist without it. Yet it goes away from the consciousness completely. While we are looking at it, we're standing right there. Nobody says ocean created the wave. Nobody says bubble was born out of the ocean. So Gurbani says, such is the situation with the creation. So this fascination with how large it is, how many, when it came into existence and all of that, is a exercise in futility, because that information will not help you on any spiritual mystical path. It may give you a subject to talk about in a sitting like this, and you may impress some people. But so from that point onward, after leaving that message, now we are coming to what is the process of realizing that creator. So he starts with the process and then he alerts, warns it right away. That's the beauty of the Gurbani. It catches you right away so that you do not go with a misconception. If somebody was to tell you, you meditate in this fashion and you will achieve this state, then which is the reward and which is the action? Meditation is the action, state is the reward. Can the reward be greater than the action? Absolutely not. Right? So look, by just saying that, whole of the thing has been negated. Because this achievement of any higher consciousness state has no relationship. It's a complete, get it out of your system. It's no relationship with the higher states of consciousness. Absolutely no karma can lead to that. It appears so. Somebody has been sitting and meditated so long, he went up there. Well, the reality is that he went up there not because of that karma. Anybody wants to take a guess? What the Gurbani will answer in this case? How did he get there? His grace. He comes as a gift every time. He does not come as a reward to anything. Bear that in mind. Why? Because if you start creating this relationship, or somebody's method gets better, I am going here, somebody's method gets this. So what is happening here? You are actually sowing the seed of the ego. My method is better than yours. And my method can bring this result. So now the result has become a slave of the method. He is not a slave of anybody. It is not necessary that you may be meditating for years and years and nothing may happen. And you may not be doing anything and suddenly you are enlightened. These type of things have happened over the historical movement, time frame, when you do some studies and you find that such events did take place. That's why there is a tantric story about two meditators sitting under the tree and meditating, and Narad walks by. So the older one said, "Where are you coming from?" He said, "I just was reviewing the Akashic records." He said, "Well, could you go back and find out as to how much time is left for my enlightenment?" He said, "Of course." So he goes back and then comes back and says, "You got 3 more lives." So he picks up the whole stuff and throws out nonsense. "I've already wasted this one, now you want 3 more. Forget it. I better enjoy this life." Okay, you asked a question, I gave you the answer. Now the next, who was a little younger in age, had just started, and he got curious. He said, "Can you go find out about me also?" I said, "Of course." So he goes back, comes again and said, "The answer for you is that the tree under which you are sitting, as many leaves on this tree, you need to take as many lives, as many births before you get there." Now, who has counted the leaves of the tree? As soon as he says that your turn will come after so many cycles, he gets up and starts dancing. He's celebrating. So that the other guy says, "What's your problem? I had only 3 and I didn't bother with it, and you are talking of hundreds and thousands of lives." He says, "I am dancing." That the answer came that there is my name in that list. What if he has said, "No, then your name is not there at all"? Then I can have as many janam, as many births and death, and still not get anywhere. The real celebration is that I am going to get there eventually. I'm okay with that. So the story says that he got enlightenment right there. Why? What is the logic in it? There is no logic. Don't find the logic in God's word. Otherwise you'll go crazy. Because the world is crazy, right? No logician can explain why the creation is the way it is. Because it does not move in a on and off, plus and minus. It's zigzags. So the point of this, that if you want to achieve something, you need to do something. But there is a reminder right away. And so that's you talk in paradoxes. It makes no sense. You are asking me to do something and then saying, bear in mind you are not going to get anything out of it. No. The warning is, you may or may not get anything out of it. Because that relationship is totally accidental. Don't make that relation. I have been doing this yoga, this meditation, this sadhana for so many years, hence I should get there somewhere. The answer is, you will get there only if he wills. Not because you will, not because you want it. So that responsibility falls on him. Isn't it? What Krishna said. Do the karma and leave the result to the Creator. Don't look at the life from the fruit point of view. Look at the life from the seed point of view. You just say focus on the seed. Fruit will come when he is ready to give it to you, or whatever fruit is ready to give it to you. And that's what the process we're going to start today. So Guru Nanak says that the methodology to get to those states of consciousness where you can realize your ultimate potential, it starts with your tongue, jiva. Gurbani points out, those of you who have seen large mandirs in India, and right at the entrance of the mandir, there is always a huge brass bell hung. And the person, when he walks and before walking in, he strikes the bell. And then he goes around, and then when he comes out, he strikes the bell. Now that it is not just a play, entertainment. On the boundary, before you are entering the boundary of the temple, the world is on this side, material world is on this side, and spiritual world is on that side. So you're going to have to announce the entrance to the spiritual world. That requires for you to suspend the outer world right outside. So don't listen to any noise, don't listen to any thought, don't pay attention to anything else, just because you are entering the arena where the spiritual work is going on. So in order to start that, you strike the bell and there is a vibrations of the sound. So the seeker then keep the ears focused on that sound. Keeps on listening so that the mind does not think about, oh, I'm too late. आज मंदिर की जाना है, वापस चल रहे हैं. You are not aware of the time, you are not aware of the space, you are not aware of your surroundings. Why? Because you are focused on that vibration of the bell. And then you do that going back so that you take that vibration with you for the rest of the day. So Gurbani says that just as entering a physical mandir, you strike the bell, entering this mandir, this body, inner, is also a similar thing. So if this is the gumbaj of the mandir, right, that dome shape. So if you notice, the structure of our palate is actually dome shape. Those are not accidental things, like that the minarets and the onion shaped domes. That's not an accidental thing. It has very spiritual and mystical meaning behind it. Why to create a shape like that? So this is the center, and right at the entrance, as there is a bell over there, hammer, there is a bell over here. That's the bell. Zaban, Jibha, tongue. He says, use that. How are you going to use it? And now the line starts. He says, Ek du jeeb ho, lakh hove. Lakh hove, lakh vis. I mean, he's going to create an absurd word picture. Instead of just having one tongue, what if you had two? Oh, well, let's forget about these small counts. How about 100,000? Ek du jeebo, lakh hove. Lakh is 100,000. And then that 100,000 is multiplied by the 100,000 again. Lakh hove, lakh vis. So 100,000 times 100,000, and then he says, lakh lakh geda yaaki. Geda, circle. Geda means round. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, that's a circle. Lakh lakh geda yaaki hai. Ek naam Jagdish. He says, now with as many tongues, 100,000 times 100,000, then each tongue is repeating the name 100,000 times. Lakh hove lakh vis, lakh lakh geda. That you start doing this. So if you start doing that, what is this? It says, E tarahe pa. This is the method to find the respect in the ultimate destination. If you start walking on the path of meditation, the chanting, one word, just take any word, it doesn't matter, whatever is closer to you, whether it's Satnam or whether it's Ram, whether it's Om, whether it's Allah, whether it has absolutely no significance. You take one word and repeat it by making a cycle, Geda. There lies the secret. Because normally, when you go to any Gurdwara, Masjid, Mandir, people do the dhun, right? They play the drum and then they start the chant. So in a single breath, they might repeat the same word 15, 20 times. So what's happening? It's not making a circle. But it has a different impact on the consciousness. It works as a hypnotic. It puts you into a trance. Body relaxes. And Gurbani says, watch. If that is the effect of the action, then you will go to sleep. You're not going to rise above anything. Reality is that when you are meditating, when you are doing the simran, when you are doing the chanting, you will actually be more alive, more alert, more aware. The effect should not be opposite. And how do you avoid that? He says, make it a geda, make it a circle. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and stay. The word stays with, when it goes in, half of the word goes in, when it comes out, other half comes out. That's the geda, that's a circle. So here lies the modification or corrections of what we do versus what Gurbani is suggesting us to do. All of the saints, all of the meditators have done exactly what is being said here. We just have not implemented it properly. So we go to the such gatherings and backtays, everybody is singing and chanting and so forth, and say, felt very good. Good singing voices, good rhythm, good music, and we call it a bhakti. And Gurbani says that is kanaras. That is just your eardrum is enjoying the sound and your body is relaxing with that. You are just using one karamindri, that is the ear. He says that would only hypnotize you, it will not raise the level of your consciousness. So the method described is, when he is doing this multiplication type of thing, he is basically telling us that there is no count. You can't say that I sat down today and I did 1,000 times, well tomorrow another 1,000 times, then another 1,000 times. It has nothing to do with the counting. It is actually that your whole being should be resounding and should be staying with that thought. Lakh lakh geda aakhiye ek naam. Pick one. Because every name you will pick would be wrong anyway. He has no name. So no matter what you call, right? You call, if you say God is a male, you are wrong. If you say a female, you are wrong. If you say a black, you are wrong. If you say a white, you are wrong. Doesn't matter what you say. And the people have written thesis after thesis, God is a Christian. And then Judge Bernard Shaw wrote a book, Why I Am Not a Christian. Literally shook up the whole England the day when that book came out. Because he makes fun of all of those things. How can God be like this? How can you picturize? Any limitation you put on the Creator, that's your limitation, not Creator's limitation. He gets mad and punishes us. Well, then what's the difference between him and me? I get mad also. No, God cannot get mad. Well, he is very happy, he rewards us. We also got happy. Any characteristics that you will give to the Creator, it will be false. We only, because we have no language that expresses it properly, we end up falling into the trap of the words. Similarly here, avoid the concept of ek du jibo lakh hove lakh vis, lakh geda aakhiye, ek naam jagdish. Just one word. And then what? Et rahe pa. This is the only method, and everyone eventually comes down to this. They can start from any side. They will come down to this. But how he says, pavdiyan chadiye. He says step by step by step. As you are going up, on a staircase, same will be the indication to you when you get onto the meditation path, when you start chanting, starting with your tongue, slowly, a time will come when you would not have to use the tongue at all. And the word will be resounding. Same circle. So that's is the second stage. From jap, first is jap, chant, repeatedly. Second stage is, now don't use the tongue and chant. That's called simrana. Simran, yaad ho gaya. Means now automatic chal raha hai. And now the third stage. A time will come with His grace when the body would not be required. And you will be hearing the same sound from around you without any muscle, without any body reflecting, without any ear. From outside you will not be able to see. You, the body, would basically would have become in a samadhi story stage, and that's called aradhana, dhyana. Dhyan lag jana. Jinni naam dhyaya, that's dhyan lag jana. And the last stage is the eventual samadhi, where the observer, the object, the observation, the observed, all are merged into one. So he says these are stages. Ek rahe pat pavadiyan chadiye. You are going step by step by step. And what happens? It says hoye 21. Now that's a very interesting number. There are very subtle indications behind it. Right? We have 5 karmendriya, right? Hands, mouth, nose, ears. 5 of these. And then karmendriya is the piche jnanendriya panch, right? When I touch, this is the karmendriya. But what is the one who's telling this is the feeling of touch and not the feeling of pinching? That's a jnanendriya. That's the one who is aware. And then behind that is the one which distinguishes between touch and pinch. So all 5 can take place at the same time and it will not confuse. It will know pinching is at the ear and touching is at the finger. It records that. That's called Shruti. Panch karmendriya, Panch jnanendriya and 10 Shrutiya. That makes 20. Right now, all 20 of them are segregated, scattered all over the place. You tell the eyes to read, the eyes keeps on reading and brain doesn't record anything. Right? The students just who graduated probably know that one of the frustration, go over the page again, I've gone 3 pages ahead, and what was the first paragraph? I forgot about it. But we read the book. That means the karmendri was doing the action, but jnanendriya was absent. It was not recorded. So when they start getting consolidated, segregated, and becomes a single point consciousness. When it becomes a single point consciousness, that is what is ikchit. With one. Everything has now turned into one. And its intensity can be compared to when we pass the rays through the convex lens and we can light a fire. All those sun rays are coming. You pass through the convex and put it on the focal point, it will start a fire there. So from the light, so much heat is generated. Why? Because the rays has been concentrated. Same thing happens to the mind. When it goes on the meditation path and you stay consistent with it, slowly, all those energies will start getting concentrated at a single point. That's the very first stage. Ikathe karo. Bring it back. Right now they are going opposite. And that part actually, the industrial world actually is causing exactly the opposite. Isn't that what we do? Turn the teapot and the television and the messages and right? And I am managing that time. I am multitasking. No multitasking in meditation. That concept doesn't exist. Actually, meditation is saying, when you are doing one thing, do with your entire being that one thing. Nothing else. Zen master used to give the examples. Some disciple asked and said, what should I do when I get thirsty? He said, drink water. Well, is that meditation? Yeah. Drink water. And he's missing the point when he's saying, Master is saying that when you are drinking the water, that should be the only thought in your entire being. And your mind should travel along with it. It's coming closer, I'm touching the lips and I take the sip and the water drop is going to start going down the pipe. I should be able to feel that as it is going, as it's digesting. When the consciousness travels with it, that's when you will know that you have drunk the water. Otherwise, no. In Punjabi, there are two separate words actually. एक को कहते हैं शकना, एक को कहते हैं पीना. That word shakana actually came out of that. I was year high when I used to live in Amritsar, and there was a little pond where the people used to bring cattle for the water. And right next to that there was a shop it was a tea stall. We used to sell tea. So somebody was sitting there drinking tea and his friend walked by and he called him. Come over, I share a cup of tea with me. So उसने कहा आओ पानी चाह शिकाइए. So that guy was a little, he thought he was very smart, so he said, why did you say शिकाइए? Why not पियाइए? Is it drinking of two different types? He said, yeah. So what are the two types? So incidentally, I had taken my own cattle over there and it was drinking water and I was standing there. And he says, take a look at that buffalo. She is drinking water. Those of you who have remembered, once the buffalo puts the face in the water, it's not going to lift the face till it's completely full. That's how she drinks the water. So he says, she is drinking the water. मैं शक sipped it and put it back. Means what? You are actually with that taste with every sip. Your consciousness is completely focused in the action. That mindfulness is required. So we almost have to deprogram our mindset. Multitasking concept has to be taken care of completely. So he says, all those 20, 5 Karmendriya, 5 Jnanendriya, 10 Shrutiyan, they are all scattered. So bring them back into one. So then what happens? 20 became 1. 21 एक हो गया 21 एक या V जमा एक. That's how it is. It's not going to be more. You have to say it's one. All 20 has come together. That should be the effort. Okay, now he has described the process. Now look what he says there. He says, Sun gallan akash ki keetan aayi rees. Listen, if anybody thinks that by doing these millions and millions of times of meditation that you are going to get somewhere, Absolutely not. It is similar to that little ant is trying to compete with the sky. Sun galla akash ki. It's a proverb in Punjabi. I don't know if there is a equivalent proverb in English or not. Because कीड़ी नूं भी आसमान ते जाण दा चाह चढ़ गया. It's a proverb. Sun galla akash ki कीटां आई रीस. And in the same line, the second message is hidden. That when you are talking of the Creator, Akash, limitless, open sky, if you are with the ego of a meditator, you are again going to lose. So what you want to do? Say you want to become like a little ant. Hence, curb the ego. When you are chanting, when you are doing, watch out in your inner self. Is the I becoming strong? Is it giving some pleasure? Ha ha ha, that guy was late, I was on time. I have achieved this, he hasn't. Is there a comparison going on in mind? The ego will come from the back door. So that's why Kabir says, Kabira har hai khand ret mein bikhri hasti chuni na jaye. He said this is a kernel of truth. Is like a grain of sugar. But the problem is that those grains of sugar have been scattered in a desert. So now, he says the truth is there, but you have to sift through the sand to find one crystal of the sugar. So then he creates a parable. He says, think about an elephant trying to taste the sweet. Har hai khand ret mein bikhri hasti churi na jaye. Kaho kabir gur bhali dikhai chinti hoye ke khaye. Says if the elephant wants to taste this, he's going to put his trunk and going to suck it up. So what is sucking, the sugar or the sand? He does not have the capability to just pick up the grain right from the sand. But look at that small ant. He's walking on the sand and just pick up that one. What's the message? On these paths, if you are going to be proud of your size, proud of your intellect, proud of anything that you want, knowledge, awareness, then you can continue life after life after life. It will be the same. But if, as you are on the path and you are actually feeling smaller and smaller like the ant, unassuming, then the nature reveals that secret to you automatically. And that's what Guru Nanak is saying here. Sungalaya kasaki, kitaya iris. He says, you want to achieve the ultimate, then you have to become like an ant, the egoless. So ant is being used as a symbol of being small, being total powerless, helpless. He says, how do you, if you are saying my doing is not going to do anything, you are saying be completely egoless and don't even think about what the process is, then what? Are you going, is there any hope left? He said, yeah. And the next line he says, Nanak nadari paiye. That is the hope. Nadar means His grace, His blessing. Whenever you will achieve any stage in the higher consciousness, it would be His grace. And anybody who says it otherwise, kude teeth. They are basically lying out of their teeth. It has never happened, it will not happen. Because whenever he has showered anybody with any gift, it is just that, a gift, a present. And only it is His will. So why should it be only His will? Any idea? The creator of it all controls it all. There was somebody running a factory and was going to distribute the monthly pay. So everybody was in the queue. So he started distributing, and the last one in the queue, whatever was left, he gave it to him. So now there is a objection by the others. How come? He works the same. How come you gave him more? Why not to us? So he says, is this my wealth or not? Of course. Can I burn it? Of course you can. Can I all give it away? Mm-hmm. If it is my wealth, who are you to question how I distribute it? If it was yours, you could have questioned my distribution method. I feel like giving more to this one and not to that one. It's my choice. Why? Because I own it. That's why it is His will. The creator of all reserves the right to do whatever He deems necessary. And anybody who says otherwise, Nanak nadri paye, kudi kude tees. It's a pure lie. So now, an interesting phenomena. So the process is, you need to say, you need to repeat. And now the next line says, Akhan jor, chupe na jor. Now those of you who have the words in front of you, you may want to pay attention to this, that every sentence in this paragraph, other than one, has a na. As tarah nahi ho sakta, as tarah nahi ho sakta. It's not possible this way, not possible this way. But except one. Where? Akhan jor chupe nah jor. If jor ka matlab is not power, shakti is. Jor means judna. To try to become one with Him. But if you want to become one with Him, then the process is what? Say akhan. Say that. Say the word. आखन जोर, आखन ना तो जुड़ जाएगा, चुप रहना जरूरी नहीं. आखन जोर, चुपे नहीं जोर. The silence imposed from outside had no quality that will get you closer to the Creator. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੌਨ ਵਰਤ ਰੱਖ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਨੇ. I mean that's a discipline in conserving the energy, physical energy, that's okay. But to think that by my being quiet for the next so many years is going to bring me anywhere closer to the Gurbani says no. Because the silence is not important of the mouth, the silence is of the mind. The silence of the mind will take place only when you are chanting, not otherwise. If you just sit quietly, the chances are that the mind will go haywire even more. It will bring the memories and images which were not even in your consciousness at all. So just sitting silently in the beginning, that should not be the first step. What should be the first step? say it. And when you are saying it, hear it yourself. Pay attention to this, so that the mind stays on that sound. But if you say, because it becomes, people become self-conscious. It's very embarrassing to say something, Vaheguru, Ram, Ram, Ram. What is this? It's like a parrot, you just keep on repeating one word. And so the people get bothered by it. Can I not do that just in my own and not use the mouth at all? Yeah, you can when you get to the second stage. If you start with the second stage, you will never achieve the first one. Forget the second. Because the mind will continue making noise. So he says, if you want to shut off the noise and start getting closer to him, then say, do what? Akhan jor. Say it so that you can, jor means jud jayega. Chupe na hai jor. By being silent, that's not possible. Much more difficult. Akhan jor, chupe na jor, jor na mangan den na jor. You cannot get closer to him by just prayers. Mangi jol go. Keep on asking, give me the grace, give me the grace. It doesn't work that way. Or you can go the other way around. You say, I distribute, I give so much. Then you come to me. It's not going to work out. Neither your asking for it is going to work out, nor your bribing him is going to work out. What works? Akhan. The chanting. Akhan jor chupe na jor, jor na mangan der na jor, jor na jivan marn na jor. There is a shloka in Kabir. Zubani says, Kabira jit marne se jag dare, mere man anand, marne hi te paye purun param anand. And that shloka is translated that the people are afraid of death for nothing. Because I am very happy, because I am going to meet my maker after I die. That is not the translation intended by Bhagat. Because if you cannot see the Creator while in this body, then bhakti is done, is useless. You will, if you are graced by, blessed by the ultimate Creator, you will be able to experience that Sat Chitanand while in this body, not afterwards. So he says, long life or multiple deaths are not going on. That its subject is not of the birth and death. Jor na raj mal mansor. By achieving the power, becoming a king, becoming a leader, he says it does exactly the opposite. Rather than getting you closer, raj mal mansor. Sor means the noise. He says you collect the outer wealth, name, fame, it will only increase the inner noise rather than reducing it, rather than quieting it. It won't shut it up. It will only increase. That's why a politician and a saint will never be friends. It's impossible. The saint is trying to be nobody and the politician trying to be somebody. Their aims are totally different. Exactly opposite. So, let there be no illusion that because this is a very common thing, we are people who are living in this world, so what's wrong with that? We raise our families properly, we educate our families properly. Isn't that a bhakti? Isn't that meditation? The answer is no. Social service of any kind is just that, social service. That's not meditation. That's not the path to the Creator. That has a reward. If I help you today, tomorrow you may want to help me. Done. But the fact that I help you does not guarantee my place anywhere. So he says, जोर ना राज माल मनसोर, जोर ना सुरती ज्ञान विचार. Anybody who's in the illusion that by reading and studying and analyzing more books, philosophy, etc., is going to get you anywhere, it's not a subject of the intellect. Kabir never went to the college, never went to the school. And somebody asked him, and he says, पढ़ करता हाँ पोथी पढ़ जग मुआ, ज्ञानी हुआ ना कोई, 2.5 अक्षर प्रेम का, पढ़े तो ज्ञानी हुए. Isn't that amazing? So that people have gathered the knowledge from all sorts of books. They say, I have read one word. That's not even one word, it's actually 2.5. Right? Now look at it. What a mystical way of explaining. Prem in our language is written pa and half or r at the, right? We use half r sound. So that's pa, p and m, and then the r is half. So that's why it says 2.5 words. 2.5 akshar prem ka. No. Why it is not written full pa, r, full and m? Why it's not written that way? A symbolic indication. A true love will never be complete. It will always be ongoing. It will always be discovery. It will always be knowing more and know more in love and more in love. It will never reach a completeness. That's true love. If the love saturates and stops at a point, then it has turned into moho. It's no more love. Then it is to codependency. It's no more love. Love means a continuous journey, searching, knowing, expanding. All through the life. So that's why he says, he has understood the secret of being in love with the Creator. I'm okay with that. So understand, Jorna Surti Gyan Vichar. By collecting the knowledge and analyzing it and discussing it and ripping it apart, the sentences and the grammar and all of that, you may become a philosopher, you may become a teacher, but you will never become a bhagat. You cannot get closer to him. You cannot be called a saint just because you can stand on a podium and take a book and explain to the world. That means nothing in the journey over there. Jor na jugti chute sansar. Majority of the older religions basically not finding an easy way out started propagating that if you want to do the meditation, if you want to become a saint, if you want to achieve to that consciousness, you have to leave the world. You have to devote 100% of the time. And you have to go away from them. That's where the word sannyas came. Sannyas means leave the world and run. Sikhism does not propagate that. Sikhism hammers the thought that be in the world, yet live like as if you are not in the world. So the closest parable that I can give you is, example, is an actor. Be an actor in the world and be true to him. We do the other way around. We become true to the world and actor for him. That's the reverse completely. So he says, जोर ना सुरती ज्ञान विचार, जोर ना जुगती छुटे संसार, जिस हाथ जोर कर वेखे सोए, नानक उत्तम नीच ना कोय. He says this, the capability or the power to take the entity and make it a part of the ultimate cosmos, that strength, that capacity is only in the hands of the Creator. Date daat rakhi hathe apne, jis bhave tis de. This is one thing that he has kept full control of. Gurbani actually says that anytime a creation comes on as an animal or a bird or a human, the day that carnation come on the planet, the nature has already created the entire sustenance of the life cycle in a single shot. It's not like a monthly payment. You spend so much and get so much now. All the wealth that you need is already there. If you go and ask and say, give me more, the answer is no. You have been given what you already need, deserve, you have already been given. So there is absolutely no reason, no need to go to a mandir or a masjid or a church and pray, oh Lord, do me this, give me that, don't give me that. That's not going to work. There's only one thing that he does not automatically give, which is this, the meditation, that name. That one thing you can go and ask for, and he will provide. But normally when we are in any kind of a prayer mood, we have some problem that we want him to solve for us. Whether it's a physical, economical, social, intellectual, doesn't matter. We never have a spiritual crisis to solve. We have a lot of mental crises to solve, and economic crisis to solve, social crisis to solve, but never spiritual. Spirit does not go into crisis now. And hence, we stay empty-handed. So Gurbani says, if you're going to go ask, if you're going to pray, then pray for that one thing, which he will not give unless you ask for it. Now you go and ask for something that he has already given you, then you wonder why the prayers is not accepted. I've been praying that my cancer should go away, but it is still here. Now that's not the, whatever the cancer was supposed to happen, it is there and that's the way it is going to be, and the praying is not going to help. But if you seek the meditation and the process to get closer to him, he will very gladly open the door and say, take. And he does not distinguish who takes it. That's what Gurbani is saying. Jis hath jor kar vekhya soe, nanak uttam neech na koe. Now to live this statement, uttam means great, neech means of low caste or lower standing. He says, Gurbani says that if you still have that idea of stature, that itself is a contraindicated, that you are asking for the bhakti, but you already have that in mind, somebody is higher and somebody is low. If you already have that, then it's contraindicated. The world will not be open to you, given to you, because you are asking the wrong thing. If you are asking that power to set up something higher and something lower, then that power will not be granted. If you are to ask with a samdarsh to see one and all, then you will get that grace. So, today Gurbani has now set us on the process. It has shown the methodology that you have to create a circle, and as we go in the last stanza, it will then completely actually give the demonstration as to how to do the meditation. So we have covered today 32nd and 33rd, and at our next sitting we'll take the 34th. So with that, I want to thank you all for coming.